Hi friends, I'm Abby and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking you through 10 popular books that I think are overhyped. Now, this is all my opinion. Some of these, actually, a lot of these I think are really good books. Quite a few of these books I have given 4 stars. But I wish that I could have given them 5 stars. I think going in, because of the hype and how many people love them, I wanted to give these books 5 stars. And I only gave them 4. It's not as though I think that many of these books are bad books. I think a lot of these books are very, very good books. They just weren't new favourites for me. And that's what has disappointed me. And so I feel as though they've been, maybe I've overhyped them in my head and it wasn't all the hype on BookTube. Maybe it was me overhyping them to myself. But I would say that these are 10 popular books that have been slightly overhyped and they're not quite worth the hype that they've got. So I don't know where to start. Well, it's a bit like, I don't know whether I work my way up to the controversial ones. The first book that I think is overhyped is Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. So I read the whole of the Book of the Ancestor trilogy, and the first book was definitely my favourite of the trilogy, and then it went more and more downhill. But I would say that there is like some merit to it. It was fine. It was fine. It was fine. But it didn't wow me. I went in thinking I'm going to be wowed by these assassin nuns. It's an assassin nun story. They're going to be so cool. But actually, I feel as though a lot of the nuns, like their personality just blended together, and they didn't really stand out. And I don't know if it was because that it was written by a man, and that he may have really tried to make this a really like feminist story with female nuns at the centre of it. But I don't know if that fell flat for me, and that I would have preferred for this assassin nun story to have been written by a woman, potentially. And that I wish I loved it. Like, the premise sounds so cool, like the premise of it. But I feel as though the execution fell flat. And the first book, I was happy with it, but the execution just got worse and worse as the series went on, so much so that the third book I was pretty disappointed with it, because the way that he played with the timeline, it just didn't really make sense. Like, it was so much shorter than the rest of the series, and then it just fell flat. So I feel as though this series has got too much hype. I mean, I don't know how to like lessen that hype, but like, I don't know. Maybe that one just wasn't for me. Sticking with adult fantasy, and this is one that I actively do not like. So a lot of these I have actually really liked, but I didn't like The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winters, and I feel as though it's got so much hype, but I don't think it deserves it. Like, I think Evan Winters is a great guy. I would really wish that I liked it, but I feel as though his book has become overhyped. I feel with Rage of Dragons that it got a lot of hype when it was on BookTube by some very large booktubers, and I don't know if, because of all this hype and because of what people say, I don't know if some people have been like led into liking it because of what other people said, that they feel as though it's compelled them to like it because they've seen other people hyping it, whereas I just don't understand it. I'm sorry. Maybe this is me trying to justify why I don't understand the hype for this book, because I don't get it. I really don't get it. I talked about this book in a few videos. I think it was in my most disappointing books of 2020, and I don't understand the hype for it. I really don't. Like, I didn't gel with the writing style. I didn't gel with the plot. I just did not gel with it at all. The characters, the female representation, the lack of dragons in a book that promised dragons, like, it didn't work for me. I really feel like it's overhyped. And the thing is with this book is it gets a lot of hype. It has received a lot of hype, but when we read it as part of the shelf space Discord, we were a 50-50 split between people that liked it and people that didn't like it. And it was a surprise because we expected for people to love it, but the majority, not the majority of us, 50% of us really didn't like the book. And so it just seems a bit weird that it has such a high rating and has so much love on Goodreads, when actually when you look at the people that read it for this book club, half of us didn't like it. Moving on, I'll speed this up. I think that the Shadow and Bone series all the way through, including Six of Crows, is overhyped. So I have really liked this series. I have really enjoyed my time reading it. I mean, I'd say it is a good YA fantasy series. All of it, the original trilogy and the Six of Crows duology, I think it's all overhyped. I think I gave all of the books 4 stars, pretty much. I mean, I read them quite a few years ago, but I think I gave them all 4 stars and I enjoyed them. I think they're good, they're solid, but they're not like anything amazing. They're not like the best thing ever. And people make it out like Six of Crows particularly is the best YA fantasy book out there. It is the best thing ever. It's good, but it's not amazing. And I feel like I'm alone in this opinion because so many people love, I mean, I think Shadow and Bone gets some different opinions. Some people really like it, some people don't. But everyone loves Six of Crows, and I'm like, I think it's really good. I think it's like a 4-star, but I don't think it's the best thing ever, and you all think it's the best thing ever. So I think it's overhyped. Another YA series that I think is overhyped, and again, I think I enjoyed it, is the Stalking Jack, the Ripper series. And I'm not continuing on with this series. I read the first 2 books and I thought they were good. They were fine, but it's been a year and I've forgotten. Well, I don't feel like I've forgotten that much actually, but I just don't have any desire to continue. And again, I think it's good. I think it's got an interesting premise, but it is fine. And it's not like groundbreaking or anything. It's just fine. And it got so much hype. And I don't know if it was worth it. Sorry, Kerry Maniscalco. Sorry to everyone that loved it. I think it's overhyped. I'm very, very sorry. Very sorry to like the whole. I'm sorry to the whole of BookTube. I'm sorry to the whole of BookTube. I really liked this book. I really liked it. It was 4 stars for me. I enjoyed it. I can see why other people enjoy it, but I think it's got too much hype. And that's The House in the Cerulean Sea. I wish this was 5 stars for me. It is so cute. It is a hug in book format, but it wasn't 5 stars, and I thought this was going to be 5 stars, and I wish that it was, but I think it's been overhyped. Like, I really don't think this is going to work for everyone, because it doesn't really have a plot. It's very character focused. It is a contemporary in a fantasy setting. Like, I don't think this is for adult fantasy readers in particular. I don't see people that enjoy epic adult fantasy enjoying this book because, or people that predominantly read that, because it is a cutesy contemporary in a fantasy setting that doesn't really have any world building and is all focused on the character dynamics and the cute characters. And I really liked the cute characters. I really liked the character dynamics. I really liked it. I found it so cute and it was so uplifting and heartwarming. But I had those faults with it, and I feel really bad in saying it, but I think it is slightly overhyped. And I am saying that it's a really good book. It's a really good book and it is a lot of fun and it's very, very cute. But I think it's overhyped. Ooh, now that one's out of the way. Please don't kill me for that one, please. We'll go for something a bit less controversial now, just to have a little break from that. And I think that the Wayward Children series is overhyped by Sean Maguire. I don't really understand the hype for this one. This one I didn't really like that much and I think is overhyped. So it's a portal fantasy. They're all novellas. I tried the first 2 and based on what I like, I feel like I should like this series, but I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. Like, every time I've read it, I haven't connected with the characters. I just haven't connected with the writing, the characters, the story. It feels as though it's being quirky for the sake of being quirky. That, yeah, it's just forced quirkiness. And I don't really get it. I don't know if it's too short. I don't know what it is about it. But everyone seems to love the Wayward Children series. And I'm over here like, I don't understand. I thought I was going to love it, but I didn't. And now I'm like, why has it got so much hype? I don't understand. If you absolutely love the series, which book in the series is your favourite? Because I've only read the first 2. So is there like, is there like a favourite book? Is there a better one? Because I mean, I've said I'm not going to continue with it, but I don't understand. Again, I don't think this one is that controversial, but I think that the Cruel Prince series by Holly Black is overhyped. So I've read this whole trilogy, and again, I think it was fine. I think these were all like 3-4 star books. They were fine. They weren't groundbreaking. They weren't like the be all and end all. They were just fine. And particularly the third book, what a disappointment. But the first one, I enjoyed it. It was good. It was fine. It was a fine YA book, but it wasn't groundbreaking. It wasn't anything new. It was a YA fairy book with not the nicest of characters, really, actually. But I mean, it's very easy to read. I sped through it. There's nothing fantastic here. That's the message of this video. These books are fine, but they're not amazing. Okay, sticking with YA fantasy, the Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard. I feel like it's the epitome of fine, but not great. It's just fine. So I only read the first 2. I DNF'd the third book, and it got a lot of hype when it came out. I feel as though the hype for it has definitely died down since then. But when I did have a look at like how many ratings these books had on Goodreads, and it came up as having a ton of ratings, this one. So I was like, oh god, I guess it's still hype because so many people are still reading it, because it's got hundreds upon thousands of people rating it. So it's overhyped. It's just it's like all other books just blended together into one. It didn't have anything original to it, and it was fine. I also think that the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid is overhyped, and this book is so hyped. I feel like it is one of the most hyped books on BookTube that everybody loves, and I prefer Daisy Jones and the Six. Daisy Jones and the Six is superior, in my opinion. I could not put Daisy Jones and the Six down. I read these both physically, and I could not put Daisy Jones and the Six down, whereas it took me like a month to read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I just found it pretty boring. I don't know what that says about me, but I mean, okay, boring was a bit of an overstatement, but it took me a long time to read it. Like, I didn't have too much desire to pick it up. Maybe I gave it like 3.5 stars. It was good. It was fine. But everyone makes it out to be this like 5-star amazing book, and I'm over here like, but Daisy Jones and the Six is better. So I don't know where I'm going to fall with Malibu Rising. I'm excited to read it, and I think I definitely will be reading Malibu Rising, but I'm interested to see like where I fall on that spectrum, where it fits with my Daisy Jones and the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, because it feels as though everyone loves the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I think it's good, but it's not fantastic, and I wish I had the same feelings as everyone else with that book, but I didn't. And I feel like that's a controversial opinion, because a lot of people much prefer the 7 Husbands to Daisy Jones. To finish off, I do not understand the hype for the Saga graphic novel series. Don't understand. I just don't. That's one where I just don't understand it. Like, there are quite a few of these where I've given the books 4 stars. I think I gave Saga like 2 stars. I did not understand it at all. I mean, I am not a graphic novel person, so maybe that's it. Maybe it's me as a reader not being into graphic novels. But I mean, I thought I would give it a try. I thought, okay, if I'm gonna try a graphic novel, I'll try Saga, because that's the one that everybody loves and everyone raves about. And I mean, I only read the first graphic novel, and I was like, this is just too weird for me. It is too weird. It is so weird. It is the weirdest thing ever. And I mean, I generally quite like weird books, but there's weird, and then there's Saga weird, and Saga weird just goes one step too far into the weirdness. So no, Saga was, I think it's overhyped, and I don't really understand why people love it. I don't get it. Tell me why. Okay, so those are all my opinions on some popular books that I think are overhyped. Let me know if you agree with me on any of these. Let me know if we're still friends, and thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in my future videos. Bye!